Hey, my name is Matt Dixon, and today we're going to cover 5 tips for building a successful team for your small business. Obviously, this video is applicable to people who don't run a small business as well, but it's all about teams, how to build effective teams, and how to get those teams high performing. So how do you define a good team? How do you build a team? What are the first steps? What do you need to do? We can take a bunch of people and put them together and call them a team, but how do we get those different team members to be high performing and create a really effective team? I've been building teams professionally for over 20 years. Here's what I've learned so far. The first thing you have to do is not rush the hiring process. Some people will take the approach of, well, this is good enough. Like, this is the best we've got as far as the applicants go. And other people, which I tend to be a part of, will take the approach of a yes or no answer. If we interview someone and we don't want to work with them, not for a negative reason, and not because they're a bad person, but maybe they're just a bad fit, or maybe I'm a bad fit for them, that is a don't hire. I think that's the most important thing, is that we look at it not as right or wrong, authoritarian, I'm better than you, or anything like that. It's not. It's about how can we get the best people possible to form the best team. Sometimes the best thing we can do is to pass on a candidate and let them go find something that's better for them. One question I always ask in an interview is, how weird are you on a scale of 1 to 10? We want people who are comfortable in their own skin, who know that they're weird. I know I'm weird, and if they're willing to be weird, they can be assured that I'm willing to be weird too. And our weirdness and our uniqueness, that's what makes us who we are. So by asking someone, how weird are you on a scale of 1 to 10, we're telling them, I know I'm weird, and I want to see if you know you're weird. I find that people who take that question and say, well, what do you mean by weird? They're not really a good fit for me typically. And the reason is, like I said at the beginning, they're not comfortable in their own skin. They can't let their guard down a little bit to say, I am weird. I think that's really what it is the guard. You don't want the walls up. You want to provide an environment as a leader to let people in your team and people that work with you be able to be themselves, and you want to create a safe place for them to be able to do that. Where mistakes are just that, mistakes. There's no feeling associated with it. It's just, here's what I did. Now, did that cause a problem? Yes, no. What are the consequences, positive or negative? And how do we go from there? Either we stop doing it, or we continue doing it, or we start doing something different. The next thing we need to do is look at the experience that the person has. So a candidate coming in may or may not have the experience that you want. But another factor to look at is, are they able to be effective in the role that you need them to be effective in? I remember I hired a developer, and he didn't have all the resume fillers that most people have. He had, maybe a little bit less experience here and a little bit less over there. But in the interview process, I actually did a coding exercise with him, and he did really well. He was really great with the customer. He was fantastic at getting the job done. That's what I wanted. I wanted the job to get done in a reasonable amount of time, and he more than exceeded my expectations. My only complaint about this individual is he likes to take summers off, the whole summer. I'm not gonna lie, I was super jealous. I wouldn't mind taking the whole summer off, but he was a great guy to work with, and I appreciated the time that we worked together on those projects. The next thing you need to do is have clear communication from the beginning. Communication is key. That's where things break down. In any personal relationship or working relationship, a lack of communication or the wrong type of communication will really cause issues. But if we're upfront with people, if we tell them what to expect and then we meet their expectations, there's never any unknowns for either party. Everyone's always clear about what's going to happen and how it's going to happen. One example of that is saying, all right, I'm going to make a decision by Friday, and it's Tuesday, I'm going to interview someone, and I will tell them I'll make a decision by Friday. And then on or before Friday, you need to let them know. I think we live in a world where no news is no. Wouldn't it be nice if you heard back from every job you applied for? I'm not saying that it's always possible, but that would be nice. Yes or no. Let people know, don't leave them hanging. That also comes down to work expectations too. When you're talking about a career and work and a project, what do you want to get done? How do you see this person fitting into this whole project? What are each individual team member's strengths and weaknesses? Let's play everyone to their strengths. If one person is really great at communicating with the client, guess who gets to do all the presentations? That person. And then if we have another person who's not so good at it, well, guess what they get to do? They get to prep for the presentations, and every once in a while, they get to present just a small piece of it. So we play to our strengths, but we also help other people grow. That's the key to building a high-performing team. Another thing we need to do is motivate our team. It is really hard to motivate someone who is unmotivated. So I'm not talking about those cases, that's another story. But how do you take someone who's kind of motivated and jump them up to the next level of motivation? Well, you can do that several ways. One is, like we said before, is playing to their strengths. Don't ask them to do an entire presentation if they're not comfortable doing that, but get them a little bit out of their comfort zone. We need to expect a lot of people, praise where we can, and provide help where things fall short. Let's help someone grow instead of finding the mistakes. I think if we're clear about that, clear that this wasn't quite right, and we could have done that a lot better, but then we look at it from an analytical standpoint where if you would have just done X, Y, and Z, then we would have been perfect. I think that gives people an idea of where they can go, what you expect from them, and how they can get there. Another way to motivate your team is to say thank you. Say thank you with a little bit of time off. Say thank you with a gift. Say thank you with a gift card, a handwritten note in the mail. And to receive a handwritten note with maybe a gift card in it or something like that, and telling them specifically, thank you for your hard work on XYZ project. Because you did these different things, we were successful. Or even if you were unsuccessful, that's probably even more valuable to them. We failed on this project, but it's not because we stopped trying. It's because whatever reason. And then they know that their efforts are worth it, and that they know that they were appreciated and that someone else saw them. The last tip is to prioritize your work environment and culture. With everything being virtual and no one on site anymore, it's really difficult to maintain a healthy culture. I remember back in the day, pre-COVID, we would always go out to lunch every once in a while, probably once a week as a team. And it wasn't, hey, today's a team lunch. It was just, hey, who wants to eat lunch out? We're going to go to whatever place, and we got the whole team together. I think those are the best types of ways to do that. We'd go out to lunch, talk about things that weren't work, and sometimes things that were work. So the best kind of lunches that we would go out to are the ones that were organic, the ones that weren't scheduled. And we just all happened to either not bring our lunch, or we wanted to go out, and even though we did bring our lunch, and we wanted to go have a good meal with some good people. And those types of environments are where we can build that relationship. Now that everything is virtual, it's a little bit more difficult. I would highly recommend an off-site event sometime, somewhere. Get everyone together, even if it costs an arm and a leg to do so, and plan an event that no one's good at. Let's go drive cars real fast around the track. Let's go shooting. Let's go learn how to cook Italian pasta from someone who moved here from Italy. Let's try to find something that's different. Try to find something that is enjoyable and that everyone can go have a good time and not talk about work. I hope you found this video insightful and useful, and you can use some tips here to build your next team. Maybe you can take your current team to the next level by implementing one or two of these things. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, turn on notifications. You'll get notified the next time we put something out there. If you want some more information on coaching and team development, visit us at codeprogram.io, and we'd love to help you out. Don't forget to leave a comment below, and we'd love to start a conversation with you.